Hey everyone, so in today's video, what I want to share with you is a utility that I came across that I have been using and I find extremely beneficial to help me color grade skin tones and even more importantly, color match skin tones between shots. As somebody that's new to video editing, content creation, color grading, it becomes a bit overwhelming when you have to try to do all these things and still put out content. So I do shoot with multiple cameras, and this is really beneficial for users that shoot with multiple cameras to try to get at least the skin tones to match between shots. Now, if you're just trying to be more accurate in terms of skin tones, then it's also beneficial for you if you want to try to do that. So the utility is called Utility DCTL for MonoNodes. Now, DCTL does require the studio version of DaVinci Resolve. So let me jump in my computer, show you the website where you can pick this up, and then show you my workflow in DaVinci Resolve. So I'm here at the MonoNode website. You can see the URL here, and you can find the DCTL under the DCTL menu. But I'm gonna go ahead and go in the store to give you an idea of what the cost of this thing is. It's 89 euros, right? So it's this utility DCTL. Let me jump into the actual DCTL. So he has a bunch of different ones, but the one that I've been using is this one, which is Utility DCTL. And you can read all about it here, but there are other functionality that I have not leveraged. I've really only used the MonoNode balance functionality at this point. Okay, so I'm in the color page of DaVinci Resolve, and what I have here are 4 clips that I just have downloaded from Artlist, and they're just really to illustrate different skin tone and tonality of different skin tones. And so the way you use the DCTL is, the way I've been using for my workflow is in the color page, in this node tree section, there is a clip level, a node tree, and then there's a timeline level, right? So the clip level only impacts the clip, obviously, and then the timeline impacts the entire timeline. And the workflow I've used is I go into the timeline and add a node, and I create a shared node in the timeline level. So to add a node, Alt S, so we have a node. And then what you do is you add the DCTL, right? So DCTL, drop it on here, and then you select balance. And this is the only one I've used. You can see this clipping, isolated, and RGB min-max. At some point, I'll try those out and see what they do. It'll probably be helpful also. So let's do this. And then you can see immediately it impacts, it does this mapping, right? It kind of indicates this section of the skin tone is a bit more magenta. And the general here is if it's magenta or lean towards green, or if it's where it needs to be, it will be highlighted in yellow, right? And so the thing I've been checking is I usually check the skin tone indicator and then the gray out non-skin tone. And it just allows you to focus on specific skin tone areas. And you can see right here that it's indicating that it doesn't think this is skin tone colors, right? But we can fix that in a bit. So let's name this to just DCTL and then save it as shared node. So let's go ahead and close this, right? So we have a DCTL in the timeline view, and you can enable and disable the node like that, right? So now you go to the clip level. The problem is if you want to disable, you have to go back into the timeline disable. It's kind of a tedious process. So what we can do is we can add the share node here, add that share node, and now we can enable and disable from the clip level. So we're actually, it's kind of a remote switch for that clip level DCTL. So now that I have this, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a clip of this and apply it across, grab a still of this, and then I'm gonna apply the grade across all my clips, right? So these are just, clips I've downloaded just to highlight. So now I'm going to go ahead and enable the DCTL. And what you're going to see is that it impacts all the clips that I have the grade on, right? So now you can take a quick visual look at, and actually if you go to Lightbox, I think the general thought is you look at the Lightbox, you say, oh, for the most part, it's kind of leaning green, dead on, leaning green. This one doesn't even show up as skin tone, right? So that's kind of the nice thing about this. You can visually see how your skin tone's looking. So if we go to this particular clip and disable, you can see this clip has a slight blue tint to it. And I think that's why it's not showing up skin tone. So what we want to do is adjust this, right? So I'm just going to not make overly complicated here. I'm just going to use this as the adjustment node. And I'm going to adjust this. Let me turn it on, right? And what we're going to do is take it, so blue's on this side. We're going to just do the offset here. And try to get this, pull it into yellow as much as we can. And so this is, you know, as somebody that's new to color grading, this has been really beneficial, at least to get me close enough. I'll call it close enough to what I need it to be, right? This is way more complicated than what you may have for yourself, because I'm really just dealing with different types of cameras. I don't really have this different type of lighting, right? So, but you can see the benefit of this. So I've gotten most of it a bit magenta up here, but that's fine. And you can see the before and after here. So the before and the after, right? So we pulled a little bit of the blue out. Now, I suppose if you didn't want to impact everything else, you could mask it and all that type of things. A lot of complexity there. But for now, this is all I really want to show you, and I'll see you in the next one.